Welcome to Aligned for Success podcast, where we help chiropractors create practices that truly serve their life's vision. I'm your host, Dr. Nikki, and I'm here to show you how to break free from stagnation, grow your practice, and rediscover the joy of why you became a chiropractor to begin with. Whether you're looking to boost your revenue, spend more time with family, or simply enjoy practice life again, you're in the right place. Let's align your path to success. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Aligned for Success. Today, I want to talk to you all about my very first chiropractic job as an associate. And I was doing a coaching call with someone last week, and she said, I really enjoy your podcast because I'm learning more about you and what makes you you and how you came to be everything you are today. And so I was like, this is a really important part of my story that I don't think I've ever really shared. So my first job as an associate chiropractor was in Tuscaloosa, Alabama. And I went straight there from graduation from Marietta, Georgia, where Life University is. So I moved there because I was dating someone in chiropractic school who was from Tuscaloosa. And so, yes, I decided that was where I was going to move and start a practice, work for someone, and just, really move on with my life. Well, Tuscaloosa was a really hard time in my life. Honestly, the hardest time I've ever had doing probably anything for several reasons. Number one, if you're Northern and you've ever been to Tuscaloosa, Alabama, you understand exactly what I'm talking about. But it's very, very, very much so cliquey, and it's very Southern, and I very much so was not. I remember someone that I was having a conversation with putting her hand up in my face, as in stop talking. And she said, "What is your accent?" And I was like, "Well, I'm from Pennsylvania." And she said, "Oh, don't worry, honey, you'll lose that." And I hate to say she was right because I think I do sound a little bit Southern, but it just really was not the place for me. And turns out wasn't the boyfriend for me either. So when I ended up being in Tuscaloosa, I had no family, no friends, and the person that I was dating was from there. So his entire family was there. He went to high school there, and it was really lonely. It was a very lonely 2 years. And my job on top of that was extremely, extremely hard. Now, looking back, that job truly shaped me into the person, the leader, and the chiropractor that I am today. So, Dr. Michael McCracken, if you're listening, I really thank you for how hard you were on me. But my first job as an associate was at a place called McCracken Family Chiropractic in Tuscaloosa. And this was a hard job because Dr. Michael had a lot of really high expectations for me, and I wasn't meeting any of them. And that's really difficult to think about looking back, just how at the time I thought, man, this guy's just such a dick and he expects so much from me, and I just simply don't know how to do it or don't know what to do. He would have me practice and practice and practice and just give reported findings and review x-rays and do all of these things. And honestly, I think that he single-handedly made me, number one, more educated on how to speak to patients, and number two, not be afraid to get up and talk in front of someone. So at the time, it was so hard. I went home, I cried all the time. It was misery. But now when I look back, I think that Dr. Michael saw something in me that I truly never saw in myself. He saw the potential. He saw that I did have what it took to be able to be great, not only in his office, but as a doctor in my own practice now. And we have kept in touch over the years, which is really great. And we had a conversation maybe 2 years ago where he just told me he was so proud of me. And I said, I'm sorry that I sucked when I was in your office. And he said, you didn't suck. I just always knew that you could do more, that you could do better. So thinking about that job, if you guys think about a time in your life where maybe you felt like you were underperforming and someone held really super high expectations of you, and at the time you thought it was just the worst thing ever, but looking back, you realize that that person actually cared about you, that they saw potential in you, and that most importantly, they believed in you for the job that you were hired to do. So moving to Alabama was probably one of the hardest things I've ever done. And when me and that boyfriend broke up and I was in Gulf Shores, I also, again, knew nobody. So I had no family, no friends, no nothing. And I just think that it's important to know that success is not defined where you are geographically. Michael McCracken also told me it doesn't matter where you live. You need to make sure that you build a life so sustainable and make enough money that you can travel to see the people that you love anytime you want. And that really flipped a switch for me, that it really didn't matter where I lived, that I could find happiness, I could find joy in all of the areas that I was living in my surroundings, and that I could find happiness in living in Alabama. So I truly love Gulf Shores now. I didn't when I first moved here. It's really freaking hot. I don't like to be hot. It's at the beach, which a lot of people would dream about living here. I don't like sand. So yeah, you're kind of figuring out Nikki. She doesn't like to be hot. She doesn't like to be covered in sand, but she lives at the beach. So what's up with that? So like I said, never really chose to live here. Just kind of happened by all of the steps that God laid out for me. But the longer that I'm here, the more I enjoy living here. I even said to Jonathan, my husband, the other day, I haven't complained about how hot it is here because A, what's the point? And B, I kind of like it now. So we have beautiful weather. We have beautiful beaches. We have really nice, kind people. And I also said that to a patient the other day, just when you're from the North, you're not very talkative. You're not very friendly. But living in the South, you're kind of forced to talk to everyone. So I'm a much nicer person since living here. I don't always talk to my neighbors, but that's fine. Jonathan does that for me. But all of that to say, anytime we're in a really difficult season, we're going to look back on it one day and realize that that was happening for you, not happening to you, that it was helping to protect you and promote you, and that it was also getting you ready and prepped for what was to come, and that you never can expect it to be as good as it's going to be. So always just thinking about the hard things that we go through in life are actually there to help us truly just be better, and that it doesn't matter where you live. You can find joy and happiness, not geographically, but from who you are becoming as a person. So if you guys have had a really hard job in the past, I would love to hear about it, because I just like to know that A, I'm not alone, and that B, it gets better. So just let me know any stories that you guys have. Love to hear it. And if you like this episode, please like, share, and subscribe to my podcast. It would mean the world to me. Thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of Aligned for Success. Thanks for tuning in to Aligned for Success. If today's episode resonated with you, please be sure to subscribe and leave a review. This helps other chiropractors find their way to practice freedom too. Remember, true success comes from when your practice aligns with your life's purpose. Until next time, I'm Dr. Nikki Cottis, reminding you that a thriving practice and a fulfilling life go hand in hand. See you next week.